Hey YouTube, this is Ryan. I'm just getting started off in some Vanguard stuff for YouTube, so I thought today I'd bring you a deck profile of a deck I think is going to be pretty good in this next season of meta with G1 dropping last week or two. Anyways, this deck is from an old clan that started off in Set 1 and got a lot of support recently to help make them more competitive again. So without further ado, here's my deck profile on my Stride OTT deck. So to start things off, we have 4 Heavenly or Supreme Heavenly Battle Deity Susano. This is one of the new cards that just came out that has given OTT a little bit of a push. This card helps you gain advantage in the Stride era, where his Heartbreak ability is when he's strided on, you counterblast 1, look at the top 2, add one of the cards to the hand, and bottom deck one of the other cards. His GB2 ability is when you have 4 more cards in hand, he gains plus 5k in a crit. So if you used to play Amaterasu back in the day, that skill, this deck should be a little bit familiar to you, because with him, it's the continuous skill. So if you have 2 cards in hand, when you drive check, you get to add that plus 5k and a crit. So if they maybe guard for 2 to pass, and you just need a trigger to make it hit. Now, Susano is one of the main cards that is a part of the deck, but my other grade 3, and this is a little bit different than what a lot of people are doing, is I run 3 Goddess of the Treasure Mirrored Orihime, and 1 CEO Amaterasu. Now, this is the Legion, and of course with Amaterasu being the mate, I thought that the deck would work a little bit better with these 2. I know that there's a lot of people either clamoring about Scarlet Witch Coco or Goddess of the Full Moon Tsukiyomi, but there's some reasons behind this. I think Coco, she uses up a little bit too much counterblast for what you want to use your strides for, and I think that the 10k body hurts if you can't get to Susano. Also, I think you just go through the deck really quickly, because when you do the Lulu turn with her, you'll draw 3 cards. If you stride on that turn, that's another 3 cards from the drive check. By usually the time that you stride, you're at maybe 35 cards in deck. And I think you're just setting yourself up to deck out quicker if you don't have a means to kill them quickly. Tsukiyomi, she's a great card. The grade 3 right now is just kind of redundant, because you're really, the 2 counterblasts to draw 2 and soul charge 1 is not great, especially now that we have a lot of cards that just let you draw for 2 counterblasts or 1 counterblast. And really the problem with the Tsukiyomi Ride Chain deck is the starter will allow you to create the stack of 5 cards, which is great, because if you're going with Susano and Tsukiyomi, then you can create a pretty big stack filtered pretty quickly with not only the Ride Chain, but also with Susano. But the problem is, if you miss one of the Ride Chain, it sets you back a little bit, but if you miss the entire Ride Chain, then you have 8 cards in deck that are dead, and your grade 3s are pretty much dead except for Stride Fodder. So I don't like that option that will happen. And plus, really my end goal with the Legion is to put back triggers in deck to help filter my deck a little bit, so that way when I'm drawing my cards that aren't triggers, I can put back things I need at the time. Plus, with only 1 CEO, I have ways to Soul Blast and to recycle her. But that's going to be shown throughout the rest of the deck. My grade 2s, I run, of course, you need 4 Silent Tom. He's really the main offense of the deck, kind of. He will help you just push for game. Another card that just came out in the set that's really good is 3 of the Diviner GB1 card. She's good just if you're in a place in the game where it's like you stride and you need more cards in hand to defend with. She's good to help you get 1 extra card. If anything, she's just also a 9k attacker at rear guards. Because really, she's okay, but without a booster, she's like not really that good. And then the rest of the grade 2s, 2 10k vanillas. This is usually the right target that I have for when I go to grade 2, and 2 Promise Daughter. Promise Daughter is great because if I can just swing at rear guards with this card, or if I just drop a card that's like dead in my hand, then she becomes 14k or 21k if there's a booster behind her. And that's really the grade 2s. Grade 1s, well, you definitely need for the new Perfect Guard. With the new stuff, with like Kagero running around with like its swinging around and attacking rear guards and whatnot, it's not really that bad. Yeah, the old Perfect Guards are good to help against that, but when you have things like the Great and the X running around, where it's like if they're going to attack your rear guards, they're going to gain a plus off of trying to minus your field, then it doesn't really help that much. So the Perfect Guards help allow you to be able to later access your skills later in the game, such as when you use your strides or your heartbreaks or anything else that requires a counterblast. You run 5 8Ks. This is just, since the new Shrine Guards came in, and we have the option of running more than just the 4 Oracle Guardian Gemini, it helps make Silent Tom less dead. Because let's be honest, Silent Tom by himself is only as good as the booster behind him. So with this creates 21 with a trigger on Tom. And also that's another reason why I don't like Coco, because in the mirror match, if I just have a 7k booster behind Tom, this still makes it 10k shield worth of guard that you have to drop in order to protect her. And Legion is a bad thing against her. Legion's probably this deck's worst nightmare. Next, there's 3 of the Stride Enabler. Now, this card, I've seen people run for this card, and it's not really that good because, yeah, it allows you to get to Stride without having a grade 3, but the problem is that if you if you're not really in a place where you can stride, or you need boosters or something like that, or you need another card, then it's kind of wonky at best, because this card it's great for fishing for Susano if you need it, and for doing stride, but one of your strides that you run in the deck requires counterblast for it. So if you're trying to go into that one and you don't have the counterblast for it, then it's like not that good. And lastly, the card that helps me recycle stuff, 2 Battle Sister Lemonade. Battle Sister Lemonade is a good card in this deck because it helps me unflip counterblast, because there are cards like my Diviner, Susano, and my Stride that require counterblast. And the problem, again, with this deck is that if you run out of counterblast too quickly, then the rest of your strides are really dead. And you have to either wait for heal triggers, you have to wait for something else. So she helps me make sure that I don't run out of counterblast or be able to draw power. Also, like if I have to use Psychic Bird, it allows me to recycle Psychic Birds back into the deck. So that's my grade 1s. And because I don't run Tom, or because I don't run Coco or Tsukiyomi starter, I can run Battle Sister Claire. Now, Battle Sister Claire just helps with the consistency of the deck, so that way I don't have to G-assist when it becomes necessary. So by turn 2, if I don't have a grade 3 in hand, Counterblast 1, put it into the soul, and search for a grade 3. Now, you do have the other option of, hold on, let me see if I can get it here, because it's in my binder, and my binder is right here. It's a new card that just came out of this set, and it's actually pretty decent. Alright, anyway, it's a Shrine Guard Grade 0. It's a Generation Break 1 card, which kind of makes it a little bit slow. But if you decide to use it, it can help in filtering out what you need for when you go into your Generation Break turn. Next, I run 4 heals, as any deck should go. I do like these heals. I mean, I really enjoy the art for the new heals that we got, but the problem is that these help recycle back into the deck, allow you to hit more triggers, and it just helps give the deck a shuffle to where not all your triggers are just sent back to the bottom. I run 3 draws. 3 draws are good because especially when we're going to go into GB2 and we have Aquaforce and decks that just like to rush the heck out of you, having this here will help mitigate some defense, because OTT is not an aggro deck. It is a defensive deck where your goal is to try to gain advantage over a long course of time and be able to out-trigger your opponent in the late game. And then the draw triggers just help allow you to get advantage to hand. I really haven't decked out, especially even with the Legion deck. I don't have to put the draw triggers back. I could just, if I need to have an extra trigger, I could just put some crits or stuff back, which I run 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I run 9 crit triggers. Really, it's preference to what kind of crits you run, but you really need 4 Psychic Bird just for the filtering of cards. And that is where my triggers are at. Now, my Stride deck is pretty standard for what is going on with OTT right now. So we have 4 Tsuchima Kagemes. This card is what you stride into second. Its ability is Persona Flip, Counterblast 2, look at the top 4 cards, and add 2 to hand, bottom deck the other 2. This helps you gain advantage, filter out triggers, and really this is kind of why you need your free Counterblast, because if you're planning on using this turn 2 to gain advantage, or to continue on your gaining advantage, this is the card that helps you. A card that is really good for first turn stride is Kieran. On hit, top 2, add 1 to hand, bottom deck the other, and really the last 2 is Atmos. Atmos is really an amazing card for any stride deck because he is Counterblast 1 plus 10k, just helps you put pressure onto your opponent if this is where you're if you're towards the end game and they're running out of perfect shields for Tom. And so that's it.